we have breaking news. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross announced just moments ago that the United States has reached a deal with the Chinese tech giant ZTE, which has been banned basically from doing business in the United States, sanctioned for doing business with Iran and North Korea. The United States has reached a deal which includes a $1 billion fine for ZTE. Joining us now to talk much more about this is Senator John Kennedy, Republican from Louisiana. Senator, thanks so much for being with us. This is something that many Republicans, including Marco Rubio, have been concerned about, saying that the United States should not be giving relief to ZTE, not allowing ZTE really back in the United States. How do you feel about the announcement of that deal this morning?
Well, I've got to give it a little prayerful consideration. I'm not a big ZTE fan. I'm sure ZTE makes a fine cell phone, but they're a little too close to the Communist Party of China for my taste. And on top of that, they cheated. ZTE violated our sanctions and thereby helped North Korea. I want to read exactly the terms of the settlement, but color me doubtful.
Color you doubtful. It's $1 billion, $400 million in escrow. They have to fire their board, apparently, or change them over, and there's some kind of monitoring there. Does that get past your...
It's not the money. It's the fact that ZTE helped Kim Jong-un and lied about it, and it's the fact that ZTE, some would argue they are a state-controlled or at least influenced company. And what does that mean? That means that they're pretty close to the Communist Party of China. I wouldn't buy a ZTE telephone. I'm not saying it's not well made, but I wouldn't buy a ZTE telephone and allow my information potentially to be shared with President Xi Jinping and his party.
What does it tell you that the Trump administration is entering this deal with China in ZTE at the same time it is slapping tariffs on U.S. allies, including Canada and Mexico?
Well, let me talk about the trade issue. I'm giving the president the benefit of the doubt. I think he is using the threat of tariffs, and he may even implement some to try to negotiate better trade deals. I think the president's too smart to get us into a trade war. He knows that the only way to win a trade war is don't fight it. I think the president understands that global trade is not a zero-sum game. All trade surpluses are not good, and all trade deficits are not bad. Just because you're running a trade deficit with a country doesn't mean they're winning and you're losing.
Hang on one second, Senator, though. You said you trust him and you think he'll enter into good trade deals, but you just said you didn't like the ZTE deal, and to an extent.
No, but I don't know whether that's part of a global trade approach or not. I just don't know the terms of it. I heard about it 5 minutes ago. Let me say it again. I don't trust ZTE. It's not the money. They're just a little bit too close to the Communist Party of China. But in terms of the overall trade, I'm willing for the moment to give the president the benefit of the doubt. But let me say, I think he understands. I hope he understands. I believe he understands.
Is Canada a security threat? Is Canada a threat to the security of the United States?
Not to me, no.
Are you still angry about the fact that Canada burned the White House in the War of 1812, which Canada never did?
I think the president was probably joking. Everybody knows it was the Russians who burned the White House.
Absolutely, Senator Kennedy. Thank you very much for that reminder, historical reminder. Let me ask you about Bob Corker, who's got a bill that he wants to propose to the Senate right now, which will restrict the president's abilities to enter into these tariffs. Do you see yourself as possibly supporting Senator Corker's measure?
I don't know how I'm going to vote. I've talked to Bob about it. I don't see it. On the one hand, I do not see it as impinging upon presidential power. All it says is that Congress has a say. If the president invokes Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act of 1962, Congress gets to weigh in on it. It doesn't say a president can't do it. We just get to have our say. On the other hand, I don't want to step on the president's toes as he is trying to renegotiate these trade deals. And let me say it again. I think that's what he's doing. He's using the leverage that we have, the threat of tariffs, to try to get better trade deals. He's not interested. He's too smart to get in a trade war. Now,
we'll see.
If we get in a trade war, that's a whole different ballgame.
We'll have you back. We'll pre-book that for you to come back in if it does develop. I want to ask you about the president's treatment towards two members of his cabinet yesterday and get your take on each one, because he had his members around him. He had something very short to say about Jeff Sessions and something quite effusive to say about others, including Scott Pruitt. Listen.
Mm-hmm.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions, thank you, Jeff. Thank you very much. Administrator Scott Pruitt, thank you, Scott, very much. EPA is doing really, really well. And, you know, somebody has to say that about you a little bit. You know that, Scott. But you've done, I tell you, the EPA is doing so well.
So, gosh, two things happened there. Number one, he had like half a sentence on Jeff Sessions compared to effusive praise for everyone else. People saw that as a slight to the Attorney General, just one more slight, people say. And then Scott Pruitt, the EPA chief, who we just found out, you know, had an aide contact Chick-fil-A to see if his wife could set up a franchise. You say that Scott Pruitt has been, I think the exact quote is, acting like a moron. Am I right?
Yes.
What did you mean by that?
Well, I support many of the new policies at the EPA. They're not Mr. Pruitt's policies. They're President Trump's policies. I don't know Mr. Pruitt. I'm not commenting on his professional judgment. I'm commenting on his personal judgment. Look, my entire career, I spent most of my career in state government in Louisiana. I have fought the waste of taxpayer money. I've fought the influence or the appearance of impropriety. And I've fought impropriety. And I think these things that Mr. Pruitt is alleged to have done, I mean, they continue. The hits just keep on coming. And I think he's hurting the president, and therefore he's hurting the country. And I did. Some of these things that Mr. Pruitt apparently has done, I know some of them are allegations, some of them are facts, he is acting like a moron. And he needs to stop it.
Senator
It's not personal, but he just needs to stop acting, misbehaving in this way.
Senator Kennedy, you have some legislation. You're very concerned about Facebook and some of the rules involved with Facebook going forward. Will you tell us what you are proposing?
Yeah, Senator Klobuchar and I, from the great state of Minnesota, have a bill. It deals with social media platforms, in particular Facebook. Look, Facebook is a fine American company, but we all know it's no longer a company. It's a country. It influences a third of the world. It has the ability to influence what we buy, what we believe, how we vote, what we own, or what we buy, what we believe. And it doesn't do that just by looking at the stuff we post on Facebook. Facebook can follow us around on the internet. It can spy on us one click at a time. We just found out that Facebook shared data with Huawei. That is the largest tech company in China, which is also very close to the Communist Party. I'm not trying to put Facebook out of business. Here's what I want Facebook to do. I want Facebook, in clear, unmistakable terms, plain English, to tell people who sign up on Facebook, here's what you get, free service, here's what we get. Here's all the data we're going to collect on you, here's who we're going to collect it from, and here's everybody we're going to share it with. If you don't want to do that, opt out. If you opt in and you change your mind later, you can opt out then. If somebody steals your data, we'll notify you in 72 hours. And if Facebook will do that and really make sure that people understand, I'm cool. I trust the American people. They can use Facebook if they want. But right now, they don't have the information.
Senator Kennedy, thanks so much for being with us. Please keep us posted on your concerns there. Appreciate it, sir.
I take back the part about the Russia burning Washington.
Too late. It's out there. Senator, thanks very much.